Today, I want to share with you exactly the roadmap to break your limiting beliefs and finally get on the path to make progress to actually living your dream life. The dream life you see on the internet that you don't think is for you, but you have the power to create that dream reality. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Soriano. I'm a full-time aerospace engineer as well as a serial entrepreneur, done multiple businesses, including a laundromat being the last one. Now I am a optimization, productivity, fitness, mindset, and entrepreneurial coach. And my specialty is breaking down limiting beliefs and getting the best out of everyone. So let's get started with this roadmap. All right, so this is the first graphic right here. So we always see our dream life. We see our dream life on the internet or whatever we're thinking of our dream life to be, right? For some reason, we're not living it right now, right? So you're gonna ask yourself, so why not you? So you're constantly asking yourself why it can't be me. And the difference between the people that you see living it, because if there's other people doing it, that means you have the ability to do it too, because it's not impossible, right? The only difference between you and them is the belief, the mindset, the systems, and consistency over a very long period of time. And that is the only difference between living your dream life and where you're at right now. So let me break it down for you. So I made this mirror board for all y'all, and the outcome of this mirror board will be your dream life. And I put some phrases here of what your dream life could be. For example, like waking up super excited for the day every single day. I know some 9 to 5ers out there after graduating college. Sometimes you don't wake up as excited for the day and you don't look forward to it because it's so monotonous already. But I know you guys have that pull, that itch for more. So this is why I'm doing this, right? Some of you guys may think that, oh, my dream life is being physically strong, jacked, shredded, healthy, and maybe you're not there yet. So I'll break some limiting beliefs for you guys, and then this is how you'll get there. Another piece of the dream life could be surrounded by like-minded, ambitious people, building something of your own that's impactful, balanced energy, confidence, peace, location and time freedom, mentally clear and mentally able to overcome any challenges that come your way, and then of course living with purpose. So I broke it down into so why not you? Because that's always the question you're going to be asking. And I'm going to start with your current reality. So this is the current reality that I was in, and I'm still slightly in. And then after that, I'm going to go through the limiting beliefs. Then we're going to break some limiting beliefs, and then we're going to have some tactical implementation, and that'll set you on the right path for positive trajectory to start working towards progress for your dream life. So you guys are going to describe your current reality here. We're going to start with maybe you're in your corporate life or you're feeling unfulfilled, right? So this is an exact snapshot of my life right now. So these are some thoughts that I constantly have. So sometimes I'm going to be in traffic, right? Commuting to work. I feel like I'm wasting time and I'm wasting my life. I'm just stuck in like this 9 to 5 traffic, and I see this. I just feel unfulfilled, especially just wasting my time, right? And then another thought I have is just, oh, dang, 45 more years at my cold gray cubicle. And you can see in these pictures, my cubicle is actually gray. And there's no little inch or no decoration, nothing. And it is pretty cold out there. This is my old cubicle at my old job. As you can see, it's just all work. There's no decorations. And it's pretty much just, it was unfulfilling work for me, but it's engineering work. It's interesting and it's fun, but I just have this itch and pull for more. And then after work, for some reason, I'm stressed. I have no energy after work. I feel drained. As you can see here, I'm taking a nap because I take a lot of naps. So the next piece of your current reality that you might be suffering from, or maybe not suffering from, just like some thoughts that are constantly running through your head, is this lack of environment or support system. Maybe you're surrounded by people who you think that settle. Maybe they're happy, which is good for them, but you have this pull for more, and for some reason, no one else has this. In addition to that, you have this no mentors, no accountability, no other peers pursuing similar goals, and entrepreneurship and self-development can be a lonely path, and it is harder alone. Within reach of very ambitious people, it's a lot easier to actually strive for your goals, right? Maybe you even have friends or family, like really, really tight knit, like your whole life, lifelong friends, right? And they unintentionally discourage ambition. And I had some phrases here that they may be saying, or thoughts that may be running in their head about you, right? Like, just be grateful. You have that career, so don't lose your job now. Or you have stability, don't do anything risky. Or just save for the house, get the wife, and live the life, right? So these are just common thoughts that could be running through your head with this for this lack of environment or support system. And then there you go. You have this isolation and then this doubt in the path about the path in your life. And you're always constantly thinking like, no one around me gets me. All right, another thing here is healthy habits. So maybe you have low energy, you're constantly exhausted, you don't have drive, you're always guilty that you're not being productive enough, but you don't have the energy to be productive. You have low self-trust because you're constantly telling yourself you're going to do something, but you don't do it. And then um, you're on and off with healthy habits, and you always feel like you peaked. Maybe you were really, really fit in college, and then once you transition to the 9 to 5, you weren't anymore because you let that inconsistency get to you and become your new identity, and you kept losing trust, and you weren't able to actually just finally lock back in, right? So some inconsistent healthy habits here that I wrote: sporadic gym attendance, inconsistency with meals and nutrition, no progress in the gym. You can never stay consistent or accountable to yourself. And maybe you don't have those peers that can push you or keep you accountable, right? This lack of environment, plus the inconsistent healthy habits that'll reinforce those inconsistent healthy habits and then make you feel like you've peaked. And then you lose self-trust, and then you're in this downward spiral, right? You might not have energy or be ambitious to get to that next level, but you have this pull, but you don't have the energy to go, right? And then lastly, you also might be unconfident just due to the physical appearance, and that's due to inconsistent healthy habits. Another part of your current reality right now could be financial pressure. Thoughts of like, I can't afford to chase my dreams right now. Or what do I do with my money as a corporate 9 to 5er and it's just sitting in the bank? So you're just throwing it in a really low yielding savings account or even S&P 500, but you're never investing in yourself, right? And you have this scarcity and non-abundant mindset about finances, right? And you're always anxious about how much or your budget, and you're super anxious about finances, right? So some thoughts I put here for financial pressure that could describe some people's scenarios and have described my scenarios. Excuse me. For living paycheck to paycheck despite working hard. So this is a special for the entrepreneurs, right? The entrepreneurs with 9 to 5. So when I had my laundromat, I was basically living paycheck to paycheck because I was using my 9 to 5 salary to pay for a lot of the expenses for the laundromat. In addition, I still had like rent and stuff like that and living expenses. And I was essentially living paycheck to paycheck despite having a 6-figure corporate job. And that's without, spending it on like cool cars or like toys or stuff like that. Another self-limiting belief that I had was the guilt for spending money on self-improvement. I was not mentors or getting into groups of like-minded people or even like courses, but obviously you have to vet who you're getting it from, right? And like actually understand. But guilt for spending money on self-improvement in books, podcasts, like events, like connecting with being able to connect with people who are like-minded, that is huge. And that's part of self-improvement in addition to the fitness part and the physical part, right? So I used to have this guilt for spending money on self-improvement. I always thought you just had to save money until you could buy that house, or save money and save for expenses, stuff like that, right? Otherwise, like, what else are you supposed to spend money on, right? And I also had this comparison to my lifestyle to influencers' lifestyle online. And I used to feel like maybe they don't deserve it because they didn't go the traditional route of like school, college, and then a 9 to 5, and then get rich. Maybe a lot of these kids are like a lot smarter than us, right? And they're able to make money online or make money through business or startups, and they're successful. So why are we preying on their downfall, right? They're able to make it, and we could learn a lot from them and wish them the best success. So this should essentially be a good snapshot of your reality, at least some parts of it that could be strong limiting beliefs, right? So we have the lack of environment and support system, corporate life feeling unfulfilled, financial pressures, inconsistent healthy habits. So all of these come with limiting beliefs. All of us have limiting beliefs. I still have limiting beliefs, right? So the limiting beliefs of this current reality, I divided them into 4 different categories. So I had time and energy, money and resources, mindset and confidence, environment and identity. So if we start off with mindset and confidence, it's here are some sticky notes of limiting beliefs that we have in our head related to mindset and confidence. First, I don't know what I want to do yet. You have this pull, you have this itch to do more, but you don't understand or you don't know what to do. And you're constantly overthinking and being like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Constantly analyzing. You're not taking action. Maybe you have a limiting belief of what if I fail, right? Or people like me don't win in life. I'm unlucky. I need to have it all figured out before I start something important. So these two are kind of similar there, right? Overthinking. Or I've tried it before and it didn't work. So I've had businesses that I've tried before, and the old me would say, oh, those just don't work. Amazon wholesale doesn't work. Clothing lines don't work. Laundromats don't work. It's because I didn't give them an actual like good try. It's like it came back to it now as a more experienced, seasoned veteran in entrepreneurship and a more self-developed version of myself from back then. I know I could make some stuff work that I wasn't able to work back then, right? I know I'd at least get further and become closer to my goals. The next one here, environment and identity. So my friends or family don't support what I'm doing. No one in my circle is ambitious. I'll start once I find the right people of the right community of like everyone around me is happy. Why do I keep wanting more and keep dreaming? If all of your friends are super happy, always going out or always doing the same hobbies you guys did over and over and over, and you just know that you're meant for more, or you know that you want to just lock in and and focus on self improvement, focus on you. And you don't understand why everyone's almost treating you like an outlier, or making fun of you, or making you talking that you're a little bit cringy or something like that, right? Like why is everyone in your environment not care about what your priorities are, right? I'm not like those fit, carefree entrepreneurs online, but you can be if you broke some of these limiting beliefs. I don't want to be judged by my friends for trying hard or trying to change, right? So those are definitely some limiting beliefs that prevent you from getting into that positive trajectory towards that dream life that you really want to live. And this is your life. Next one here is time and energy. So I'm too tired after work to work on myself. So you have to ride that energy. You have to understand how to manipulate your energy in order to actually be able to work and stay productive, right? I don't have time to get fit. I'm too old to start. Work-life balance isn't possible. I don't have the time to get fit. Oh, I wrote that twice. Apologies there. It's too late. Everyone else is ahead. Focus on yourself there. And lastly, money and resources. I need to save more before I can start something. I can't leave my stable income. It's too risky. These are for the entrepreneurs who have such a big opportunity that staying in their 9 to 5 just doesn't make sense. I don't have money to invest in myself right now. I don't understand investing or budgeting. So therefore, I'm not going to do anything or even learn, right? So you're all talk, but you don't actually like start it. Starting a business requires thousands of dollars that I don't have, or traveling and living a cool life only for multimillionaires, which I'm not. These are all limiting beliefs that you probably have right now if I described your current situation. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to break these limiting beliefs through reframe. So let's break these limiting beliefs and provide a fix to each one. So we'll go in the same order we did last time. So mindset and confidence. So starting off with, I don't know what I want to do yet, right? You're overthinking. So how can we reframe this? First, we have to understand that confidence comes after action, not before. And you are capable of discovering what you want, and your journey of self-discovery is valuable in itself. So if you take the gym, for example, when do people start becoming confident? When do people start falling in love with the gym? It's after they start seeing results, right? And how do the results come? The results come because people stepped into the gym for at least several months or a long period of time, right? It's not like they stepped into the gym and after like 1 or 2 days, they saw the results and therefore they got confident in the gym. It takes a while to get confident in the gym and to start actually loving the journey of fitness, right? And then to take it even a step further with some of like people like us or like my old self, it's like we didn't. So like if you just never start, you're never gonna fall in love or get confident with it, right? So if you just don't even step into the gym, there's no way you're actually gonna get confident in it. You can't come in with confidence to the gym. It's very, very hard to do. So you are capable of discovering what you want, and your journey of self-discovery is valuable in itself. So just focus on your journey, and then you'll be all good. So a tactical implementation or a fix for you is write down feelings, ideas, small wins every day, right? So this will help you organize your thoughts and understand, okay, so what do you really want to do? And to stop this overthinking, right? So be journaling, right? Ask yourself, what's one thing I'm curious about doing today? Or what's one thing I'm curious about today, right? So just think about that through the lens of, hey, I want to stop this overthinking. So let me figure out, or I feel lost and I don't understand what I really want to do. The more and more you journal and like understand yourself, your feelings, what you're actually curious about day to day, you'll start to see a pattern and you'll start to see, hey, I want to help people, or hey, I want to start a family, or hey, I want to leave a lasting legacy, positive legacy for as many people as possible. And that route is probably a personal brand, right? Preach whatever you need to preach. The next limiting belief here is, what if I fail? Well, first, let's reframe this into every failure is a feedback loop. It is only data. This is the fastest way, and then you could reframe it as failure is the fastest way to learn what works, because you get that real world feedback and then now you can adjust, and then you get one step closer to your dream life. You get one step closer to that first step or that second step towards your dream life, right? So reframe failure as data and ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Instead of how did I lose or what did I lose? So always reframe it as data and you'll never fail. Our next one here is, people like me don't win in life. So sometimes you think it's just like they're different, I'm different. If like you look at the NFL players, right, or like professional athletes, you can make the case that a lot of them are different physically and mentally, right? But let's reframe this in your life here. So the people you admire, they also started somewhere. They're also human. They were also scared, and they still are scared, failed. They failed many times, and they're human like you and me, right? So even if it is a professional athlete, like they had the same emotions, they still grinded and did put in the work that they had to get to that level. So everyone is human like you and me. So just try and understand that and make sure that you don't get in your head that, hey, they're just completely different. There's no way that I can live that life that he's living. But if someone else is doing it, especially if a lot of other people are doing it, then it's very possible for you to do it as well. You just need to take those small steps over a long period of time, break these limiting beliefs, and get after it. So a practical implementation here is to journal your thoughts and feelings to catch any self-sabotaging loops. So again, just sit down, journal your thoughts, journal what you're curious about, journal any self-sabotaging loops, and then try and understand, okay, I have realized that, hey, I'm human. People that I look up to are human. They experience the same emotions as me, so this is okay. So I can focus and still go after my dream life, because you have one life. What else are you gonna do? Live it how you want to live it, right? The next one here is, I'm unlucky. So the reframe here is, action will create real world motion. The more real world feedback you get through failures, you will see lucky opportunities. So the more you put yourself out there, the more opportunities will open up. And then people will think you're lucky. But it's just because you started with hella action and you open up those opportunities, because action created the motion, action created motivation for you to continue to put yourself out there, and then to actually start seeing more and more opportunities where from an outside viewer, you just look hella lucky. And then obviously once you get these hella lucky opportunities, then you get at them hard. And Hormozi's famous for his quote, volume will then negate luck as well. So once you find what you need to do, just do that with a heinous amount of volume. So implementation or fix here is commit to something, take action, then create that real world momentum and do an insane amount of work, focused work, speedy work to negate any luck that you need. All right, and the last two here for mindset and confidence is I need to have it all figured out before I actually start something important. And my reframe and challenge to that is clarity comes from action, not from thought, right? How often have you sat down and thought for days about one decision versus actually just try it, feel it, and experience it? Which person, A or B, the one who overthinks or the one who just does it and figures it out? Like, who's going to have more experience at the end of the day, right? So clarity comes from action, not overthinking. So implementation and fix is to commit and start with just the first step. You don't have to think of this overwhelming picture or like result that you need to get now. You have to just start step by step, gain that positive momentum, that positive traction, and you'll stop feeling overwhelmed because you're like, okay, I can do this little step, little step, little step to get to that first step, right? And take it little by little, like A to B. So just dive in now and you'll figure out later. Trust yourself. And then the last limiting belief here is I've tried it before and it didn't work. I challenge you to think that you didn't give it enough time, or you just weren't in the right place or the right time, just wasn't meant for you at that time. Because if other people have done it, that means it's possible and you could do it too. So an implementation that you can try is evaluate if this is truly what you want to do, right? So if you really, really want to do that clothing line that you failed like several years ago, then say that you're going to commit to it if you really want to do it again. And if it is, realize that you've had a head start since you already saw what one part of failing like a clothing line would look like, right? So now you could give it another try from a more experienced viewpoint, from a more self-developed viewpoint. You can try again, and even if you fail, you'll have another failure viewpoint, and then you understand, oh, these two approaches don't work, or these things that I've done don't work. So, process of elimination, failure is just data and a feedback loop, right? So now you just try it again, right? Maybe you have to just work more jobs to fund the money, but then you could go after it again. So if other people have done it, you do it too. All right, next one is environment and identity. The first limiting belief here, we're talking about my friends and family don't support what I'm doing. So sometimes we are super ambitious and we want more and more and more, but everyone's telling us be grateful, which we should be grateful, but we should always be striving for more. We have this one life, we have this dream life, and we want to create this as our reality, right? And in order to create that as a reality, we have to become someone different. And a lot of people around us will be uncomfortable seeing us change like that in order to become our self and become or live the dream life that we were meant to live and want to live. And making progress on that means you sometimes do outgrow your friends and family who you're born into. So this is a very common limiting belief for very entrepreneurial, ambitious people. A lot of times they'll just feel alone. So a good reframe here is it's very rare that you're born into or that you find your tribe before you actually build yourself up. So most of these reframes and most of these fixes for environment and identity will be focused on building yourself up first and getting your tribe to find you, getting the like-minded people to find you. Yes, you can places that these types of people frequent, but you still aren't going to be connected with them until you build yourself up first. So extreme accountability, everything is on you to build yourself up, and the world will just start bringing in opportunities and then bringing in connections and elevating your network as you grow yourself. It is very, very rare that you are born into a position where everyone is how your dream life is supposed to be, or how your dream life, you want your dream life to be. Usually you'll want to elevate, right? Like past those limits or past those, like that baseline level that your peers or your family is in, right? You might have some mentors, you might have some accountability partners, you might have some peers that'd be awesome and you guys could grow together. But there's going to be some friends and family, unfortunately, that just you guys don't see eye to eye or you don't have the same goals, which is fine. They're happy and you'll be happy once you do this, and you can still support from a distance. But the reframe here is that it is very rare to be born into these circumstances. So you need to find it out for yourself. So the implementation and fix here is to focus on yourself, improve every single day. Don't try to change others, and you will inspire change in them if they were meant to grow with you by working on yourself first, showing them the progress that you're making, showing them how hard you grind, showing them how passionate you are about this and that you're willing to do whatever it takes. That's how you're going to inspire them to change if they were meant to change. And if they're meant to grow with you, take them along, be their number one supporter. All right, next one is no one in my circle is ambitious. So all of these environment ones are pretty similar here, as you guys can tell, for the limiting beliefs and the reframes and the implementation and tactics that I'm going to share here. So the reframe for no one in my circle is ambitious is when you grow, your circle will naturally grow as well. More opportunities will come in the industry that you pursue, in the career that you pursue, more network connections, industry connections that will elevate your network will be shown to you as well as you grow in that industry, in that expertise, right? So focus on yourself, join online communities of fitness, mindset, entrepreneurship, or whatever career, whatever industry that you're in. Just join those places, those communities that people frequent in. If you want to be a more jacked person, you're probably going to go to, like if you want to be a power lifter, right? Let's take a gym, for example, right? So you can go to the commercial gym and there's first, that's already an upgrade, right? For most people, just going to the gym, socializing there, and then getting motivated to see those same people over and over and seeing all of you guys make progress together, push each other, hold each other accountable. That is a great environment. But if you want to be a power lifter, which is the next level, or if you want to be a men's physique competitor, women's physique competitor, you're probably going to start going to a little higher, more higher end specialized gyms. By higher end, I do not mean Equinox. I mean like if you are a power lifter, you are going to where's a gym in Torrance or Hawthorne, California, right? You're going to these small specialized gyms with very tight knit powerlifting specific communities where all of the powerlifters in that area go because they have the competition spec weights, they have the competition standard bars, they have other powerlifters training for the same meets you are going to there as well. So it just keeps leveling up, right? You would go to Equinox if you want to talk to that sort of clientele, right? So if you want to become people that frequent an Equinox, you're probably going to end up eventually at an Equinox and conversing with those types of people. So spend times in the environments that elevate you and that you see your dream life being in, or like the people that you admire. If they're over there, then you try and yourself to get to those environments as well. That could also be online communities. The next limiting belief is I'm scared to be cringe and I'm scared to be judged for changing, right? So it's a very common limiting beliefs, especially in like friend groups in like high school, college, when you're being in your self-improvement mode and you're like looking up quotes or like talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that, or like you have this motivational posters and it's like motivational and cringe and like, oh, you're trying too hard, bro, like just chill, right? So it is very common to have this like fear of judgment. So the reframe that I'm going to challenge you guys is judgment fades once you start winning. So maybe you're a little bit cringe for the first year, 2 years, 3 years as you're self-improving. Just block out the noise. If you're able to block out the noise, it'll all be worth it because the judgment will fade once you start winning. Once you start content, most people will be like, oh, look at this tryhard, right? Or like, oh, he's trying to make it as an influencer, like try hard influencer or like wannabe influencer, right? But then in like 5 years, when you have like 50,000 followers, like people won't judge you anymore and they'll be like, damn, how did you do it, bro? The same people that were judging you before. So just block out the noise as long as possible, stay committed, stay focused, and do in a heinous amount of volume in the one specialty that you want to go into, and then just go at it, bro. And girls, if you're watching, judgment will fade even faster once you stop looking for approval. So just block out the noise and just go in, bro. And then so the implementation fix here is this is your life, go win. Start small and progress, and then you'll see people start rooting for you. And if like let's take content for example. There is an easy fix where you just block everyone you know. But if you just don't care and you just want to really test yourself to make sure that you are detached from the results, detached from judgment, just start posting on your personal account or create a new account. Doesn't matter if anyone like finds you. Just keep posting, keep at it, and then find those little wins to be grateful. And people start rooting for you. They might not even be your friends or peers immediately, right? It'll probably just be people who resonate with you online, right? Or whatever communities that you join into. They're always going to be supportive, and because no one at the top will laugh at people trying at the bottom. Like, do you ever see a bodybuilder or a power lifter, an elite power lifter, like laughing at someone trying to get into the sport? No, they encourage it. They love mentoring. They love, like, you know, the good ones do, right? They love mentoring. They love seeing the profession like expand and inspire new like waves or generations, right? So no one up there will laugh at you, but the people down here who are insecure will laugh at you and judge you because they can't do what you're doing. So just start small and stay focused, keep at it. Then the last limiting belief here is I cannot find others who think like me. All right, so how would we reframe that? Because that's a very common limiting belief with people. There are people like you and even better than you, and you just need to find your path. You need to win, and then they will find you. Opportunities will find you in whatever you're doing, right? So, like, let's say I am an engineer, right? So if I wanted to double down on my 9 to 5 engineering career, I would not be doing content right now. Well, if I were doing content, it'd be in engineering, right? If I wanted to double down on my career and, you know, grow as fast as possible, I would be going to as many networking events, as many um, like mixers, as many like air shows or like rocket shows or whatever, to just try and expand my network. And I would also be building my resume outside of work, in addition to in work, but outside of work, trying out cool projects, going up to all these like small niche meetups on specific engineering concepts that I work on. I'd be trying out different things that I could, like maybe I'd have a little shop and trying out different variations of concepts that I work on, right? And always constantly trying to grow my portfolio, to show my passion, to show my initiative for that field in engineering, and show that I can be someone great and valuable, and I have this ever growing experience and mindset of like, hey, I want to grow in my engineering career as the best engineer here, right? Or the best engineer that I could be. And then if I do that, my network, well, opportunities will start coming because people will see, hey, this engineer isn't just a 9 to 5 engineer. He's just truly a passionate engineer and loves engineering. So your network, your opportunities will start coming to you because people will see that drive, and then your network will also start growing, and people will, because people are seeing that same drive. So what you could do to technical implementation here after that reframe is to curate your digital environment. So if you want to take the same example of becoming the best engineer that you want to become, your digital environment, what you consume on social media, is probably going to be engineering content. It's probably going to be what is the cutting edge technology, what about propulsion like interests me, what confuses me about propulsion, and then go find solutions on the internet, or like follow all these like propulsion engineers. What are they talking about? What's the latest news on like electrical propulsion, or what's the latest news on internal combustion engines and their switch over to electrical, right? Or electrical assisted, or like, you know, the new electrical assisted turbos, the 992 like Porsches, right? All these like specific things about engineering is what you would be doing on your off time to become a better engineer, so you could better explain the concepts both at work and to other people, and everyone will know you as the engineer. More opportunity will come, your network will expand in that industry, and you'll become the best engineer that you were meant to be, right? And then, so yeah, follow builders in that niche of whatever you're trying to go for. Document your journey online too. That's a bonus. Building that personal brand. Because if I was an engineer and I wanted to become the best engineer, I'd be constantly documenting what I'm learning more about engineering, about propulsion, about what I'm working on, to the extent that I can, and all of my projects that I am working on. Because social media just connects you to the whole world. So the more that you show, and the more that you almost like brag about what you've learned and trying to with the intent of trying to inspire and to inform and to entertain other engineers, the bigger your platform will become, the more opportunities you will get, the more connections you'll get to people that you didn't even realize can be a connection to you. So that's why personal branding is insane, because it just connects you to the whole world. And if you are not humble about what you do with good intentions, you will get so many opportunities. It is ridiculous. Then obviously spending time in productive environments, especially if it's with your niche. So if I was trying to, same example, if I was trying to be the best engineer that I could become, I would spend my times in regulatory agency meetups or like very niche things, right? Or like rocket competitions or like robotics competitions, like very specific things. And you will build your network from there too. And you'll always be known. You'll always like be a familiar face, and people will always want to engage with you. And then eventually people will start looking up to you. So that is exactly what you need to be doing. If you have this limiting belief, I cannot find others who think like me. Next one here for limiting beliefs and the reframe are for time and energy limiting beliefs. So next one, the first limiting belief is I'm too tired after work to do more. So we all know that feeling where, oh, after work or during work, we're just getting drained and using all of our mental energy, using all of our physical energy even, and we're just sitting in a get up and take a walk. It's so easy to just like stay complacent and go on your computer and do the tasks you're supposed to do. And then when you have time, just scroll your phone, then boom, 8 hours are gone. You go home, feel drained, and you hit the couch and you just procrastinate going to the gym or procrastinate making a healthy dinner or procrastinate getting ready for tomorrow, procrastinate building your business, and you're just like dead, like this, like just dead. And this excuse of, not this excuse, this limiting belief that you are genuinely too tired to do anything after work is so big in your head that you just give yourself that excuse that you need that rest. But you have to realize there's so many other people out there that are doing tenfold as you, which means you can also do that. You just have to build your way up there progressively, right? Just exactly like progressive overload in the gym. So I actually took an interesting reframe approach here, and I said, the activities you do after work drain you, right? It's not that the fact that the work drains you, like that's only 8, 9, 10 hours of your day, right? You still have a good amount of your day left. You know, you're 9 to 5, right? And then you're 5 to 9. And then you're 5 to 9 before you're 9 to 5. You have a good amount of hours left. It's the activities that you are choosing to do or not ramping up to the scale of those activities that you're choosing to do, right? So the activities you do after work drains you. Maybe you're just watching Netflix or you're scrolling your phone. Well, obviously that would drain you. It's not exciting for you. So think about this. I will challenge you to do this. If you were going to pick up your dream car, let's say a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or a Porsche, right? Are you going to be tired after work that day? Are you going to go into your car, into whatever car that you're driving to the Porsche dealership or to the Ferrari dealership or to the Lambo dealership where you're supposed to pick up this dream car? Are you going to be excited coming out of work? Aren't you going to be ecstatic? Aren't you going to be like, yes, maybe it's not your dream car, maybe it's closed on your first house or I don't know, whatever else you guys like, or you're going to pick up what like a watch that you like or something like that, right? Or you're going out on a date, right? Wouldn't you be excited and like energized? So that proves to you right there that it's the activities that you do after work and the attitude you have towards that activities that drain you and your just mindset after work that work just drained you too much. Because I guarantee if you had to drive 4 hours after work to go pick up this Lamborghini or this dream car, you're gonna be pretty still fucking excited through those 4 hours. So that's 4 more hours of driving in bumper to bumper traffic, but you're still like on top of the world, bro. So you got this. You could make activities that you do fun. So an implementation and fix for this dip in energy or this limiting belief that I'm tired to work anymore is to schedule in activities right after work that energize you. And usually these are physical activities like the gym, like Pilates, like going hiking with friends, like going running, walking, track workouts, whatever workouts you like, golfing, sports or activities. Put activities that you like right after work. And a bonus tip is to pack everything in your car or pack everything in your backpack if you take the bus or whatever, and then go straight to that. Don't go home, because once you go home and you hit the couch, it's GG's. You are staying on the couch, and it's very hard to pick up momentum after that. Because at least when you're working, you're stimulating yourself, right? And then right after that, you just go straight to the physical activity that energizes, at least at baseline, or like you spike up in energy. Then after that, then you feel more productive, the blood's rushing, and you're feeling good. So that solves that limiting belief, in my opinion. The next one is I always burn out. So I always had this limiting belief as well. I do argue physically that I did burn out like quite a lot, especially when I was balancing my 10 to 12-hour corporate job, not even corporate, it was like construction job. And then it wasn't in the office or anything, it was like out on the field. And then I would have to go to in-person masters, like for mechanical engineering with like labs and everything. And then I would be I ran a clothing line, and I was prepping for a powerlifting meet. So during the midterms and final seasons, I would find myself like burnt the fuck out. And I knew that because I would come into my apartment, which is a studio apartment with no furniture except, excuse me, a twin narrow bed from college, like the kitchen, right? And then I had one pair of utensils for everything. So I just had one fork, one spoon, one knife. Like it was so minimal, so I never had to worry about cleaning. And then it just had like my Wi-Fi stuff like in the corner. I didn't even have a desk. I just had like my laptop. It was so minimal. So I didn't have to think about anything, and my place wasn't cluttered, my mind wasn't cluttered. But I'd still burn out, and I would know that I burned out because I would come home after doing my powerlifting sessions, which were after school, because school would end around like 9:30, and then I'd go lift from 10 to like 11:30, 12, and then I'd commute back, get home like 1, 2. When I would like come home, and then I would just like put my stuff on the floor, and then I would just like lay on the floor, and then I'd sleep on my hardwood floor, like not even on my bed, which is the only other thing in my apartment. And then I would just like look up at the wall and stare at it. And I didn't know, like I couldn't do anything. Like I had no emotions or anything. It was pretty tough, but that's when I knew I was burned out, right? That's why I always had this limiting belief that like, oh no, I'm just gonna burn out, right? Well, this is how I believe that we could fix this. So the reframe is trying to say that I am capable of managing this energy and working sustainably. So it was always a battle to try and sustain it, right? And it was at times where I started saying yes to too many things that I started burning out more. So like if old friends hit me up and I started saying yes, that's when I started seeing more burnout occur, right? I had to be insanely focused, and I'd be insanely efficient. Like during my work breaks, I would try and do like schoolwork, or eventually I ended up just dropping the powerlifting meet. And well, I guess I got dropped from the powerlift. I wasn't recovering good enough, and I was getting injured because I never got sleep, right? I didn't have good meal prep or anything, right? So I wasn't recovering enough. So once the powerlifting went away, I kind of managed a little bit better. But this leads to the next thing. It's through prioritization, no one will burn out. So because I started prioritizing my master's degree, and then my job, and then my clothing line, and then powerlifting, and then social life, I started cutting off social life a little bit more. Then I cut off the powerlifting meet, and then eventually I just ended the clothing line because it was just diminishing returns at that point, and I knew I had to go full in with a lot more money for my ads, and I had so much more to learn with paid ads that I need to just focus on school. So I was almost done with my master's, so took that away, and then I was just focusing on my master's and my job, and like just retaining my job. This is my old job, construction, right? So through prioritization, if I just focused, then obviously I got those done, right? And I stopped burning out. And then you also have to think that there are so many entrepreneurs, athletes, parents that are doing way more than you are and that I am. So that means if they have that energy, they have capability, obviously they built up to it, but that means you could do it too. Like it's humanly possible. So therefore we could do it. So I want you to challenge the limiting beliefs by always looking at if someone else is doing it, why can't you do it too? Obviously, you have to aggressively overload to their situation and to their circumstances and toughness or skill level, but it shows that it's humanly possible. So the implementation and fix here is to learn to prioritize through journaling and scheduling. So this will really help you zone in on what is important to you and then you can start cutting out everything else as much as possible to the greatest extent, or at least getting the maximum returns with the minimum amount of time and effort and spent, right? You can start cutting out those things and focusing mostly on the thing that actually matters to you, based on your purpose, your calling, based on your goals. And then saying no to as many things as possible. Protecting your energy is vital in entrepreneurship. And then scheduling and rest as a necessity, not a luxury. I struggled heavily with this, but rest is absolutely essential. So you got to be scheduling sometimes for naps. You got to be scheduling sometimes to just get to bed so that you can wind down and then go to sleep and get as much quality sleep as possible. You have to spend time actually prepping out how much protein you're getting, or prepping out like how much food you're getting, because you can't be skipping meals if you're not intentionally trying to do that, right? Next limiting belief here is I cannot balance health, business, and social life. You already know what I'm going to say here. There's absolute dogs already doing this, so you could do it too. It's humanly possible, bro. Come on. Next, you don't need more time. You just need better discipline and better prioritization. So back to the same thing, just what are your actual priorities? Obviously, if you're not fit, obviously, if you're not jacked, it's just not a priority for you. If you say it is, you just aren't disciplined enough to cut off the other things and protect your energy and then actually focus and lock fuck in. Otherwise, you'd be jacked. So think about the absolute dogs, they have the same amount of time you have every single day. And they had to prioritize when they were growing as well. So right now, you see the top dogs, they're living life. See the influencers like traveling, having fun with friends, driving cool cars. Well, they didn't always have it like that. They still had to build up progressively over a very long period of time of speed, focus, and a heinous amount of volume to get where they're at, right? And when they had to do that, they had to say no to a lot of things, and no one really cheered them on until the finish line. No one cheers on a marathon runner in between the start and the finish line, or the milestones, or the different miles. It's a journey with you and you only, right? You have to cross those milestones and then see the tears of those people. And then eventually, once you get to the finish line, then everyone's cheering for you, right? And everyone's cheering for you in the start line, wishing you good luck. But it's you and you only that is responsible for your journey. So extreme accountability, discipline, prioritization, and that's what will get you better. That's what will get you that balance that you're searching for. So some tactical implementation here is first, and more practical implementation, specific practical implementation, is to do a time audit. Last 3 days, write out every half hour, write out like 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m., all the way to the next day, right? And put exactly what you did every single 30 minutes. And like obviously, like hopefully 6, 7, 8 hours are sleep, right? And then the rest, how much did you doom scroll? How much did you actually spend working on the priorities that you say and think are your priorities? And usually these time audits will open your eyes and make it seem like, or not make it seem like, it will reveal to you like what you're really spending your time on. And then you could change some habits from that. And from there, you can start time blocking your days on how you want to actually spend your days. And then and those time block days should have needle moving tasks every single day that align to your goals, and your goals should align to your purpose. And that comes all from journaling and understanding your priorities and what you want in life. All right, and the last one here is I need to wait until life slows down. I need to wait until the right time. That's a very common limiting belief. I didn't struggle with this too much because I was just like, I always had this insane pull to just grind and get more. But I know a lot of friends who always are telling me like, oh, I have these big dreams, but I gotta wait till the right time. So this is exactly what I would tell them. First, saying this means you don't truly want these goals. Because if your goals are, and you have to understand that if your goals are high, the price and sacrifice will be high. Otherwise, everyone will get it, right? So if you keep saying like, I need to wait, that means you have other priorities. Because what else are you going to be doing if that goal is your number one calling, your number one goal, like in the next 6 months and like long term? So if that's your number one goal, why aren't you going for it every single like second of your life, right? Obviously, I know you have to like eat, sleep, socialize to some extent, and do your job, or like do a 9 to 5 or hustle, right? But if you time audit and you see that you're not working towards these goals because you're waiting for the right time or for life to slow down, that just means it's not truly a priority for you. Because even like bodybuilders, the priority, like bodybuilders prepping for a show, the priority is the show. So they will do literally everything they can to make sure they get the exact macros and the exact workout done every single day. No matter how much life hits them, they will get that shit done. They will find a way to get the last 20 grams of protein that they need. They'll find a way to not eat carbs, this amount of carbs, when they're going out with friends all the time. That might even just be saying no, right? So people will find a way if it's truly their goal. So I don't understand the excuse of I need to wait until the right time. You just action creates clarity, action creates the confidence, action creates motivation to keep going. So some tactical implementations to fix this limiting belief is to journal, to reflect on what you truly want and if it's worth that attempt, that trial, that sacrifice. So if these goals you keep talking about, you're like iffy about, and they're very lofty goals, it's probably not for you if you don't want to actually put in the work and go through the sacrifice. So you could talk about it and just be one of those people that we all know that talk about their lofty goals, but never actually fucking go for them. And everyone will like think you're more cringe, like that person is more cringe than the person who actually tried at the end of the day, right? Because the people who try eventually will get it and eventually will win because they'll keep trying. They'll be discouraged and fail sometimes, but they're gonna get there. Versus the people who are just all talk and they just get the dopamine from talking about their goals, but they never actually fucking go and do it, right? Because it's just all bark, bro. All right, last one here. Money and resources, limiting beliefs. First, I don't have enough money to invest in myself. So here, the real risk is staying the same and not investing in your growth. So you have one life, right? You have one body and you have one mind. You have all this money and you can't even budget 10% of your budget to investing in this, investing in bettering your mindset, entering communities with like-minded individuals or individuals you see and respect and admire, like their hustle, their drive, and just being around some killers. You'd rather stay complacent and not and live this one life as you are right now in your current reality, like drained, unfulfilled. You wouldn't pay $15 a month to like stay in this community of people just fucking killing it in sales, killing it in business, killing it in drop shipping, killing it in fitness. Just that boggles my mind. Like $15, bro, like that's crazy. But anyways, yeah, you have one life, you have one body, one mind. Like invest in it. And that it could even be just starting with books, bro. And like, but actually fucking reading the books. Because a lot of people just buy books, including me. Sometimes I'll buy books and it takes me a while to actually read through it because I don't have too much free time. And I'm making an excuse here, but it's just not a priority to me, right? And I don't have the discipline to keep reading because I'd rather rest because rest is a bigger priority to me than reading, right? But I understand the value of reading and the implications it'll have on my mind and making it stronger and making it see different viewpoints and understand the world as someone more respected understands it, right? So I see the benefits, but it's just not a priority, and I don't have the discipline to be able to fit that into my schedule right now. But I know eventually I will. Right now, my priority is my business and fitness, and then my job, right? And social life. So it's reflected on the fact that I can't finish the books that I buy. So you guys just need to apply that to your and prioritize and have discipline in your life, right? So implementation and fix. Reallocate at least 10% of your budget to either self-education and or fitness. So this means make sure you have a gym membership or a home gym, excuse me. And I do like a gym membership because it keeps you accountable and the fact that there's that monthly payment. And then second, you are going into an actual building away from your house where other people are working out on their goals and you are just in a community of people striving to be better. So that naturally will keep you honest. And if you see the same people every time that you go, if you go at the same time, then you will almost be held accountable. Even if you don't talk to any of these people, you'll almost be held accountable because they expect to see you there every day. And eventually, like you will make friends and then it'll be even easier to be held accountable. So also take that, apply that to the online community, online fitness, online entrepreneurship, online content creation. And if these people are supporting you in your personal brand or content and they see you stop posting after a week or two, like you're letting them down, right? they're giving you your support or their support to you freely, and you're still not performing. So that's like, just got to do it, bro. Anyways, next, our last limiting belief here. The shit ton, bro. All right. I'll save first and then I'll start. So I hear this a lot with the 9 to 5ers, right? They're like, they don't believe in investing in themselves, but they believe in investing in the S&P 500. They believe in investing in Bitcoin, which I also have Bitcoin and stuff. I'm not dogging on this shit. Or like they believe in investing in a meme coin versus investing in themselves. So investing in an online fitness community where everyone is a dog trying to get cool fitness goals and like achieve a better life for themselves is a scam. But this meme coin that just dropped from a celebrity who's going to rug pull it is a better investment than going into a low ticket community that's $50 a month where you're surrounded by absolute dogs, all supporting each other and all trying to get better together. Like, y'all are something else for real. I don't even have to logic through that. All right, but this is the reframe I'd say. Financial freedom is truly built through learning skills that will always be valuable enough to pay for. And some skills include like marketing, right? Or understanding how to sell. And obviously building yourself up to just be a respected person. That includes getting fucking jacked. Everyone will want to be jacked and be healthier and live a longer and more quality life. So that'll always be a skill in demand as well. So if you learn like specific skills that you invested into yourself or that you invested in and you therefore invested in yourself, then you will always be good. So no matter if the stock market, the crypto, the housing, like currency, countries fall, like you've built something in yourself. So like focus on yourself, and you built something so strong that no matter what, people will hold you valuable to that extent that they would pay you in whatever or trade you or whatever, and they would provide value to you because you'd provide value back to them. And that is like the baseline of business, right? That is the standard of business, and therefore you will always be able to eat. Your family will always be able to eat because you've mastered this skill, have an immense experience, and you've transferred that skill or knowledge to other people as well. So focus on yourself, obviously, and prioritize yourself and make sure you're focusing on that skill and building yourself up. So the tactical implementation is obviously build yourself up, focus on your growth, build an unbreakable mindset that you could overcome any challenges, any hard times, and obviously pick a skill, pick a business, and focus and get fucking jacked. So those are the limiting beliefs reframed. So I gave you limiting beliefs, reframe to think about, and then an implementation and a fix. So now we are going on to the tactical implementation, which I gave examples of tactical implementation for each limiting belief back in the reframe. So I put these tactical implementations into 4 big categories. First one, I'll go same order as last time. So for mindset and confidence, we have journal. So journal, this means journal to find out more about yourself, out more about you. Bro, I can't fucking talk right now. To find out more about your feelings, your thoughts, just what's going on in your head. Write it all down. What's your current situation? What are the goals that you have? What do you really and truly want in life? And if you can't figure that out, what do you really, 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 really want in the next 6 months, 60 days, 30, 60, 90 plan, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? What do you want in 5 years? And then as you really nail that down, you can kind of see like, oh, it seems like I want to try opening up a business, and this is the type of business. Seems like I just want a business. So after that, let's look at some of your interests, see if you could find any businesses that align. Just keep educating yourself on the self-improvement niche, and eventually opportunities will come. And it comes faster if you have a personal brand and content, is my argument. But regardless, just keep consuming the good content, curate your digital environment accordingly. Don't be doom scrolling like memes and shit. Like figure your stuff out and then, or journal your stuff out, and then like you will be able to figure your stuff out. And talk to people that you admire. And once you have those role models and mentors online or in person, like talk to them as much as possible. Like I DM some of these people, like my DMs are always open, and talk to the in-person mentors and people you admire as well. See their thoughts, their habits, their patterns, their worldview, right? And see if they all resonate with you, because maybe one type of person will really resonate with you consistently, and you talk to a lot of people in that industry or niche, and you're like, hey, it seems like I really want to go that direction, and then we'll kind of take you like to that, and then opportunities will start opening up once you focus and build yourself in that industry. And then, so in addition to journaling, that is a lot of mental work right there, and it will really just help you organize and yeah, organize your thoughts. But then you should also always have this action first approach, right? So action builds momentum, action builds motivation, action builds clarity. So everything stems from you just going for it and just fucking doing it. Like you can procrastinate and overthink all you want, but at the end of the day, you're not actually doing it and experiencing real world feedback, because what we think in our heads isn't what's going to happen in the real world 100% of the time. So we got to see what would happen in the real world, and then we could adapt. And failure, remember, failure is just data. It's not failure. Failure is just data. Like everyone fails, bro. So just take it as data and then say, okay, next attempt, I'm just not going to do what I did last time. And then you just tweak this one thing, fail again, and then take that as data. Okay, so I know not to pick C or D. So let me try B. Oh, B also failed. So okay, let me not pick B, C, or D. Maybe it's A. Oh shit, A worked. Now I got my first 100 view video or 1,000 view video. So let me do a little bit more of content based on topic A. As is now, let me tweak the hook a little bit, or tweak the first 3 seconds, or tweak my caption style, or tweak my font, right? And then, oh, that was a really bad font. I went back down to 200 views or some shit like that, right? So it's all trial and error versus like just thinking of like, well, I need to optimize my captions and my 3 seconds and every single thing. Just like fucking hit it with some volume. And obviously, I always preach this: focus, speed, and a heinous amount of volume. So keep that in mind for mindset and confidence. And obviously, all of that will just build your confidence as you get closer and closer to your goals. And that comes from the journaling plus the action-based approach. So for environment and identity, tactical implementation is build yourself first. So this kind of ties hand in hand with the action-based approach, and figure out your goals and what you're going to focus on. And once you know what you're going to focus on, you fucking go at it as hard as you can. You network in that industry. You support other people in that industry. You are not humble about what you did, but you are a humble person. And what I mean by that is, if you discover something, then talk about how you discovered and how it could help other people. So be very outspoken about your accomplishments, because it could help inspire or help other people just in general, and be better themselves, right? But be humble in person. Obviously, that's just a given. Yeah, build yourself first so your tribe can find you. So as you network more and more in the industry that you want to head into, then your more opportunities will find you, and your network of people that either look up to you or want to be like you, so they have the same sort of mindset as you, they're just not there at the level yet, as well as people who you admire, which people who see you as their past selves will start wanting to mentor naturally, right? So all of those people will start congregating towards you, because you are showing the world and giving the world the energy that you want to give it, and the energy will eventually come back. It's like the karma shit, right? And then bonus, get into positive influencing environments, and that's how you get into these modes and activity, and of being able to focus on yourself, because you see everyone else doing it. If you're in a house content creators, you're probably going to be creating content eventually, even if it takes fucking like months to convince you to create content because you were hell against content. This shit will make, or be living in a house of content creators will eventually make you want to, in some sort of way, create content or be a part of the social media niche, right? Or industry. If you are in a house of, like fitness junkies, or if you're in a house of car mechanics and everyone loves cars, you will probably, and you have no baseline knowledge of cars, you will probably have better car knowledge than like 90% of the people in the world. And eventually, you'll probably end up working on cars with them, just like if every single person in that house is an extremely talented car mechanic, all you're gonna hear is stuff about like cars, right? So get into positive influencing environments of people you admire. All right, time and energy. So the technical implementation of time and energy is time blocking after a time audit. Already went through this. Then prioritization, right? You have to be ruthless on saying no to stuff that's not a priority to you so that you can focus on your goals, build yourself, and get closer to your goals and build your dream reality. Because no one gives a fuck about your dream reality. This is your life. So extreme accountability, say no to what you shouldn't be doing, right? And then manipulating and understanding the highs and lows of your energy. When are you most productive? If it's really early in the morning, then fucking grind out the most needle moving tasks in the morning before like the day comes for you, right? Wake up hella early so you can actually do that shit, right? And then if it's after work, but you have this slump, and if you have this slump of energy, you end up not doing anything, then make sure the activities after work energize you and get you ready to actually conquer the rest of your day. So find out, understand your energy, then manipulate it to your benefit so that you can build yourself faster and stronger and more focused. Lastly, set our money and resources. So make sure to allocate money to self-improvement, fitness, physical, mental, and like emotional and spiritual. Like anything that just like makes you a better person and helps build you into the person that you really want to become, that person who easily would achieve all of your goals. That gap. If there's anything that you can buy, as in like save time, it is going to be worth it. Whether that be getting a mentor who's a little bit higher than you, or getting a mentor that's a lot higher than you, and you have like a community of other people who are also striving to get there, and putting yourself in these positive environments where everyone's going after a similar goal and has this growth and always learning and always growing mindset, right? So make sure to allocate money to self-improvement. So if you take all of this, so understanding your current reality, acknowledging limiting beliefs, then reframing limiting beliefs, and then actually implementing like real world actions that you can perform now to actually break these limiting beliefs based on reframe, then you are that close to your dream life. The only thing that separates that is a focused, built version of yourself that is extremely self-developed, extremely disciplined, is understands their priorities, understands their goals, and does whatever they need to do for a long period of time, and is known and understood and respected as that type of person by people around them or people who know them. And then your dream life of surrounded by like-minded, ambitious people, of building something of your own that is impactful, of balanced energy, confidence, and peace, of being physically jacked, shredded, healthy, strong, of waking up excited every single day, of location and time freedom if desired, of being mentally clear and mentally able to overcome any challenges that come their way. And they're always confident that, hey, life will get better. Or if they're on top, that hey, life will get worse. So I need to always be prepared mentally and physically and emotionally to be able to deal with any sort of challenges so they keep themselves sharp even in the good times. Then you are living as close as possible to your dream life, and you will get the dream life that you are dreaming of right now. And once you get to your dream life, I know you're going to still have that for even more and want to keep building, because if you're watching this right now, you are an absolute killer. And obviously, the biggest thing would be you'll feel like you're in line with your purpose. You'll feel fulfilled. You'll feel that you're living with purpose. And that right there is the dream that I hope everyone achieves. And I'm going to end it here with, you've seen others live your dream. The only thing separating you from them is belief, direction, and consistency. So start building the systems, the habits, and the mindset that pull you closer to your dream every single day. So ask yourself again, why can't it be you? Why not you? All right. Hope that helped. Coach it. Peace.